this is going to get dicey at Victory here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to get screwed by the airport.
Actually, now in Van Nuys, northbound on Woodley, a high-speed pursuit here adjacent to Van Nuys Airport. This Jeep being pursued by the Los Angeles Police Department on the ground and in the air. This is a possible robbery suspect. That Jeep, a high-sided vehicle, a high-profile vehicle, and we've seen as it's made some turns, it gets a little bit dicey. Definitely speeding northbound on Woodley here by the airport just to the west of the 405 freeway. Again, possibly a robbery suspect being pursued. All right, he's got a red light here. Let's see what he does. If he's going to try, there he goes, a hard right turn. And he has a front tire. The front tire, the right tire, is flat at this time as well. So the vehicle is disabled. Something in the back seat. We can't quite tell what all that debris is in the back seat. But you can see now he is making his way back towards the 405 freeway. He is heading in a eastbound direction on Van Nuys. So we'll see if he tries to get back on the freeway. And this has been going on for some time here in the valley. It was traveling westbound on the 101 freeway towards the Central Valley, and that's where he decided to exit the freeway just to the west of the 405 freeway. He picked up Burbank Boulevard, then Woodley, and now again we are on Van Nuys and right through that intersection again at a high rate of speed. No ramp there, so as you can see, 405, he went underneath that. So he's going to stay on surface streets. There's an LAPD helicopter above him, only a couple hundred feet tracking him as well. Remember, LAPD, they are always looking out to keep everybody safe in these types of situations. And if they feel that this pursuit becomes too unsafe to the public, to these motors and pedestrians down below, they will back off, at least on the ground, and continue to track him in the air. Again, a possible robbery suspect being pursued. There's some pedestrians right there. Look at them run across the crosswalk. That couple right there are nearly hit. He's making a southbound, right turn now on Sepulveda. It looks like there could be a passenger in there as well in the front seat from our vantage point, unless that's just the suspect, the driver there. There's somebody else in the front seat there with him. This pursuit, again, traveling throughout the San Fernando Valley, now on Sepulveda, heading southbound on Sepulveda, back towards the 101. A lot of traffic up ahead. And as I said, Bob and Marla, that LAPD is very watchful to make sure that they keep everybody safe down below. And the units on the ground that are trailing him have definitely backed up. That close call right there, again, making that hard left turn. Bob, Marla. There are two units, but a good, solid, long block and a half behind. So they have pulled off a little bit. They're definitely not trailing him like we've seen other pursuits here. Now this pursuit is making its way towards downtown Van Nuys in a eastward direction on Sherman Way, I believe, here, or Victory. We're going to get a confirmation.
Probably Victory.
Looks like it's Victory. Weaving in and out of traffic here. Eastbound, again, this Jeep being pursued.
Ooh, what's going on?
Something's going on with the engine, or he's making contact with the ground. You can see that front right tire is definitely out. It's wobbly, that rim on that side of the vehicle. Driver and a passenger, possible robbery suspects. That's right. Something on the ground that and looked a bit distressed as well. Looked a bit distressed, as anybody would be in a situation like this. Obviously, again, possibly both of these individuals could be robbery suspects. It was the West Valley Division of the Los Angeles Police Department that picked up this pursuit at first. Weaving in and out of traffic, and again, still more smoke coming out, meaning that possibly, and you can see a unit there right on the right, they're positioning, the LAPD is, in advance of this pursuit as well. They do whatever they can to alert the public, but in situations like this, it is really difficult to predict what streets these suspects will go on. But he's doing, just slim. Right up against those now.
To say that this guy is driving recklessly, that's a big-time understatement.
No question at all. And now I am not seeing any units at all nearby unless I've lost them as well. It does not appear that there are any LAPD units within a few blocks of this pursuit, but there's definitely an LAPD helicopter above, just a few hundred feet above Victory Boulevard here, making an eastbound trek across the valley floor, coming out of Van Nuys now. He will eventually be making his way towards the North Hollywood and Burbank area if he continues this route. But this was on freeways.
Is this a strategic move by LAPD that this guy or person behind the wheels is driving so recklessly that they back off so that maybe he will, drive a little bit safer, thinking that he got away?
The LAPD has definitely employed that tactic in that there's been so many injuries and fatalities. LAPD leads the state, in fact.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just got out of the car.
This woman just jumped out of the car and is now running. She's running into a store down below here. LAPD helicopter sees it as well. We're going to continue to track the vehicle. It's smoking even more now on the back end of it. So the car is disabled. The LAPD helicopter had to have directed ground units to that facility down below. And again, possible robbery suspects, whether or not it was armed or not, that's unclear, but a real dangerous situation. A female passenger jumps out of the automobile. This is something else. Now he's slowing down a bit.
It seems like it, hey, get me out of here.
Yeah, we call that a tuck and roll when they literally bail out the way they did. Hey, it looks like both of the wheels on this Jeep here look like they're out here. This looks flat, and that's probably where all the smoke is coming from. It's riding on its rims.
And we just more important here, we just got confirmation police have pulled off of this. They have pulled off of this, at least on the ground. They thought it was much too dangerous to the general public. Again, LAPD with all of these pursuits, and we have, Bob and Marla, seen an uptick in these pursuits. I just read that they released, LAPD did some statistics, and we are up year to year. We still have a few more weeks of 2017 to go. 20%. We're covering more of these pursuits because there are more of them.
What's going on with this white truck here?
In these densely populated areas here, it really creates a situation where somebody could get badly injured or even killed. All right, here we go. He's going to run. He's going to bail. The question you said about, look at that, just real casually, bail in the car. He's got a blue hoodie on. We're going to help out as well, obviously. We track, and there he goes into some residential facility. Bails his vehicle in the middle of the street here. We will get it. He's running down the alley here. His female companion did the same thing
and we're still
a few
in Van
blocks
Nuys.
to the west. We're more in Valley Village, North Hollywood, but we're going to keep tracking him from above here as well and give LAPD some surveillance if they need it. But they backed off on the ground here because of the danger that this was posing to the general public. Again, two possible robbery suspects being pursued throughout the San Fernando Valley in that Jeep, which was becoming more and more disabled on the freeway and on surface streets as well. And again, because this could be a robbery suspect, it's unclear if this guy could be armed at this time, and he's just running. Whether or not he knows the neighborhood or not, that's unclear. But what he could be doing, Bob and Marla, is looking for another mode of transportation. We've seen situations, we've covered situations like this in which these suspects bail one vehicle
and he'll carjack
because it becomes
another.
Disabled, and then they'll carjack another, and that's exactly what could happen here. So we're going to have to look at this. See, he's walking out onto the street here.
There's
so
a black
an
and
LAPD
white
unit right there, and let's see what happens here. So. I think he may attempt to do something here and get in a vehicle. But that LAPD, I don't know if this guy knows he's behind it. But let's get this guy. Come on. He's walking up to individual cars here.
Well, we got a chance here. Let's remind you, you're watching an early edition of the Fox 11 News at noon right now. A pursuit now has become a foot pursuit. And as usual, this guy is really losing some steam here.
He's done. They got him.
Yeah,
good job, LAPD. Now he's running.
Okay.
Now he's running again. So we'll see what happens. He sees a female cop running after him, and he's trying to get away. She's going to get him,
Yeah, she got him.
Bring him down. There we go. In custody.
Did he run because it was simply a female cop?
Who knows? You have no idea. But
good for her.
Looks like there was some backup there, and the guy really lost some steam here. And likely realized there was really nowhere for him to go. Now, we do have to point out that there was another person, a female, that was inside that Jeep, and she bailed out earlier.
A few blocks before. Ran into, it looked like some sort of a business there. So we don't know where she is. Again, these are possible robbery suspects. Rick, you're saying this is more North Hollywood, Valley Village area?
Yeah, we're right on the border here. We'll get you a cross street here in just a second. In fact, let's do that now that this guy's in custody. Again, he left his Jeep disabled, running still on a nearby street here, and it appeared, at least from our vantage point, that he was looking to possibly get into another vehicle to get away because that Jeep had become so disabled. His female companion jumped out a few blocks before. She was able to run into looked like a mini mall of some sorts, but LAPD had eyes on her as well. We'll have to find out if she is in custody. But the driver of this pursuit in custody now here by the LAPD. This pursuit first started when the West Valley Division of the LAPD initiated it, possibly robbery suspects in that Jeep. So let's get the streets now. We'll widen out here and we'll get a better view. More LAPD units showing up. From what we saw, fortunately there were no collisions, but because that car was so disabled, that may have not have been the case. We may have missed a few of those. We'll see what street this is here, but it's in the city limits of Los Angeles, obviously the San Fernando Valley. We're on the corner of a toll, and this major right here, I believe, is Victory. So here in the Valley Village.
Well, it is a victory that no one was hurt, considering how recklessly this person was driving.
You're exactly right. And we saw a number of close calls, both to other motorists and pedestrians. So good thing that nobody, at least from our vantage point, was hurt in this situation. But trying to get away. Again, pursuits here in the city of Los Angeles up 20% this year, year to year. We've seen more. We're covering more. And we've seen some, some end terribly. And fortunately, this one, at least from our vantage point, did not. There's a disabled Jeep, evidence inside that Jeep. Obviously, it's smoking. It's disabled here, units there. And they're back behind us a couple blocks to the west as well, checking on that location where the female driver bailed out while that vehicle was still moving at a good clip.
Right, Rick. So we are hearing that this suspect may have been involved in a robbery at a Metro PCS store.
Okay.
Just so you know. What about that female suspect? Can we go back to that location since this guy is wrapped up and see if LAPD is there and trying to
go back
get her into
down a few
custody?
blocks here. It's a little bit more to the right in there. That's the corner right there. That's where we saw her run into.
Now, if this was in any way an armed robbery, obviously this poses another dangerous situation here because you have someone that was bailing out of a vehicle. We don't know if this individual, this woman, was armed. And if she goes into any sort of establishment and there are people inside, whether it turns into this foot pursuit would turn into some sort of a hostage situation.
Which is a whole other crime. That
Okay, we got it. We do have an update. There she is. That is her right there. Is that not her? That is her. That's the beer and wine store she ran into. She's moving south. We're going to give LAPD info on this, stats on this, making her way southbound. And look at that is her. That is the suspect. We're gonna stay on her. South on Woodman from coming away from Victory. South on Woodman, walking. Now she's going into the construction site.
Wow. Wow.
All right, so we're letting LAPD know that at this time. We saw her run into that, to that beer and wine location right there. She hung out in there for a little while, thought the coast was clear. Not code 4 here. We're watching from up here, and we saw her make her way southbound on Woodman, coming away from Victory there. And now she has a lot of places to hide in this facility, although there are construction workers up there. And they can bring in canine units, so they're going to be made aware that there's going to be a suspicious individual in here. Obviously, she does not match the description of someone who would be working on a complex. As you see, the workers up above there in hard hats and construction gear, she is not. So she will stand out.
Well, she walked away with a purpose. You know, she didn't want to run, obviously. Make her look even more guilty.
She didn't want to look obvious.
LAPD did not know where she was. We provided that intel for them, so they're on their way.
Well,
that's right.
As Marla was just saying, what timing here? As we just asked you to pull to see if you know what happened to her.
Props to Marla. Marla wanted us to go down.
Right?
Exactly. So we did, and the timing was perfect. And sure enough, we got her, and she's in that facility, and we're going to see LAPD units roll up, and I want to see her get taken into custody as well. They really put a lot of people at danger here throughout the San Fernando Valley, from Van Nuys across the valley floor towards the Valley Village and North Hollywood area. On the freeways, 101, 405, Haskell, Victory, Sherman Way, and now down below here, she's hiding out. Second custody, robbery suspect. There's the LAPD unit. There they are, crossing our picture there. They're above us now, and they are going, or below us, I should say, and they're going to track this from above and bring in units on the ground.
Well, I know that we're trying to re-rack the moment that she bailed from that Jeep during the pursuit.
That was quite a moment. I mean, it was.
Here it is.
The Jeep, still rolling at the time, albeit at a short rate of speed, but that's still
it's a
fast
moving
enough
vehicle,
where she's
nonetheless.
skidding there on the roadway as she just bails and then runs, as we said, into what appears to be some sort of a strip mall liquor store. Look at this again. And this is when he decides to get out of this Jeep as well. Now, that came almost to a stop, and then he runs across the street. That
and then he was trying to act
suspect
all
in custody.
nonchalantly as well, but then he started to panic and thought, hey, what am I going to do here? I'm going to try to get in another vehicle. Otherwise, he would not be walking across traffic looking at those cars as they were making their way east and westbound on Victory here. He was looking for another mode to get out of there, and fortunately, LAPD caught up with him, and he was tackled by a strong LAPD officer and taken into custody. All
right, so let's take it back to where this woman now, the other suspect, walked into, and it looks like some sort of a building under construction. Construction workers there at the scene. She left that strip mall or that liquor store, apparently, and then kind of walked in a very deliberate manner down the sidewalk, as we saw, and walked right into that construction zone. So it is a large area.
There's a lot of places to hide. Yeah, there's a lot of places to hide. It looks like this is going to be, obviously a multi-level, multi-unit housing facility and apartment structure that's being built here in the valley, and obviously it's come along, it's evolved, this construction site. So there's likely stairs already are already in place so that they can get up. We're giving the description now to the LAPD. My pilot Zeus is actually he's relaying to the LAPD what attire that female suspect was wearing, because they are unclear on that even. So we are helping the Los Angeles Police Department the best we can. We were fortunate enough to grab that shot of her leaving that beer and wine facility there on the corner of Woodman and Victory, right there adjacent to the construction site there. And she walked in a way that had purpose, as you guys said, and walked right in there into the entrance there.
And there's a very good chance that business has surveillance tape as well, if need be, if it comes to that.
No question. No question, right on the corner there. That beer and wine facility, no doubt, has some sort of camera system in there as well. So we have a good ID on her. Obviously, we have video of her jumping out, entering the beer wine store there, and then walking out maybe 15, not even that, maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, and then into this facility. So she's likely hiding out somewhere. LAPD is aware. They have a description of her and know of the location because of our intel up here in Skyfox. And you could see, as we widen out a little bit, that LAPD helicopter is circling. You can see the shadow there over the intersection. There it is, coming into frame there from left to right over the intersection. And here comes at least the first LAPD squad car. No, a slew of them coming up on this facility right here. And they're gonna track her down. Here they go. We got what, five cars coming up, 5 LAPD units arriving on scene here, and they're gonna scour this place and take her into custody.
In the meantime, back over to the other scene. Is that guy? Are they still there?
That's a code 4 situation. Definitely clear. The vehicle's clear except for the evidence. There's still activity there, but he's been cuffed, as we saw, and taken into custody into a patrol car.
Oh, they're questioning people there.
Well, it looks like these people may be witnesses, or these people maybe they were in that liquor store that we were talking about, or in that area. We've told the LAPD this is the entrance that she made her way into. But again, there's a lot of exit points too. So hopefully they're going to set up a perimeter, a line around this building, maybe around the block even, and that out of our sight, it's possible she could have exited on the other side. But it's a good area to hang out for a little bit and to hide if you do need to. So she may just stay put and then know that our officers are surrounding her, and if need be, they will bring in a canine unit and they'll make sure that canine has obtained descent from the disabled Jeep that was left abandoned, and then send that canine unit into this construction facility and find her.
And
so officers looking in there.
I was going to mention, Rick, that this is not your first pursuit of the day that you've been over, in fact.
No, and the other one ended in a deadly fashion with one person losing their lives. Whether or not that was the suspect or not, I know we were looking forward to a report from Phil Schuman, who's been covering that beat from what happened in the Malibu area earlier. And that was a pursuit involving LA County deputies from the LA County Sheriff's Department. This one an LAPD pursuit, and it looks like they are talking to perhaps a foreman, a construction worker, somebody in there who may have seen that female enter this complex. Again, she would stand out because of her attire, because we're looking at all the construction workers above, and they are all dressed in construction gear with hard hats on. So we'll see if they can provide some information. There's this. The work continues. There they are, up on the rooftop of this multi-story center of the San Fernando Valley here. This complex being built here on the corner on actually Woodman, but off of Victory Boulevard.
Well, no doubt if they see this woman, she's going to stand out in that area.
Follow the running officers. Whenever
like
you see officers running, something's happening. So let's see. This may be it right here. Obviously, we're not going to be able to see it. And they are taking her into custody. We just see now the LAPD is providing us with information in return. She has been taken into custody. So we'll watch as they pull her out of the facility here as we get ready to start the noon show, right, Bob, Marla?
Yeah, almost exactly noontime. Good work by everyone involved down there, and that's great that collaboration between us and LAPD to help find her and take her into custody.
And again, from what we can tell, it doesn't appear as if anyone was hurt in this chase, but a very high-speed pursuit that went on lots of the freeways.
Calls.
Yeah, there on the San Fernando
Well, we saw
Valley.
there was 5-6 pedestrians crossing that one intersection, and that one couple came within just inches of being struck by that Jeep.
Yeah, and we have been told that these are robbery suspects, that they robbed some sort of a Metro PCS store. And one thing that certainly slowed them down was that Jeep appeared to have been disabled in some fashion because of the tires appeared like they were blown out in some way, and it was smoking. And that's when these two suspects decided to bail out.
They really had no choice but to bail. I mean, the car was going to give up before they wanted to.
Yeah, it was on its last leg, that is for sure. At least one of the front right tires was disabled. The back end of it had some issues. We saw the smoke coming from the back of it. It looks like it may have had a little bit of damage on the back end as well. So again, the female passenger in this vehicle, she bailed while the Jeep was moving. Dramatic video, which I'm sure we will replay again, perhaps on the show at noon and 5 o'clock this afternoon on Fox 11. And we'll watch here as well, as we do have confirmation from the LAPD that female passenger has been taken into custody. So this is a code for both suspects, both robbery suspects in custody. This one, the female who bailed out on the corner of Victory and Woodman.
All right, Rick, we're going to ask you to switch hats in a bit and give us a look at the forecast in just a bit. In the meantime, thank you.
Yep, thanks a lot. Great job up there, Rick. Great job to the LAPD. You're watching the Fox 11 News at noon. I'm Bob DeCastro.
And I'm Marla Tejas. Well, we mentioned a deadly day in Malibu as a pursuit comes to a fiery
Go ahead. Copy. All right, sounds good. Can you re-cue the bail? Yeah, plenty of time. Just hold this and. Oh yeah, that's right. Don't forget it then. My bad. I'm sorry. No, it's. Good afternoon, everybody watching on the Fox 11 News Facebook page. This is Rick Dickert up in Skyfox over the Van Nuys area. This is the corner of Woodman and Victory, where we watched as the LAPD made entrance into this construction site here on Woodman, just south of Victory, as they went after a second robbery suspect. A cell phone shop was robbed in the valley here, in the San Fernando Valley of Southern California, north of downtown Los Angeles. And this turned into a pursuit with a Jeep, the male driver driving erratically, very quickly through surface streets and on freeways here across the San Fernando Valley, the 101, by the 405, and then here down onto surface streets on Victory. And that female passenger actually bailed out of that vehicle while the male suspect driver was still moving. And she hid out in a beer and wine store on the corner of Victory and Woodman for a few minutes and then exited there. And we actually got video of her coming out of that store and then making her way into this large construction complex to try to hide out from the LAPD. We alerted the LAPD from up here in Skyfox of the whereabouts and the description of that female, and they were able to arrive on scene here, and we've heard that she has been taken into custody. But we're going to wait here patiently and watch as she's taken out and taken into custody and taken downtown to get questioned. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, David. We saw her like slow jogging down the street here. Uh-huh. Exactly. All right, so Dave, do you want us to stay here? Would you like us to still try to grab at least salvage the Jackie Robinson story? I mean, this could take a little while, you know, before an RA arrives. And I mean, we got confirmation from up here and you on the ground. I mean, she's in custody. She's not going anywhere. Oh, yeah, that was... Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. I don't know. That's going to be... Well, the RA hasn't arrived yet, so, right? Well, we're not going to miss it. So, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, if we'll keep an eye out on it, and then we'll tilt away from this scene. Yeah, but again, the RA is going to be the... Yep, absolutely. All right, let's tilt the camera up. Zeus, if you could just keep eyes, just see if you... Zeus will keep eyes. Yeah, it's perfect. I know. We're watching. We're looking down below, outside. We totally got you covered. He is? Okay. All right, we're starting with this, you guys. We have no choice. We're starting with it. So here's the situation. We watched as the female passenger in that Jeep that was being pursued across the San Fernando Valley floor, and she bailed that Jeep right near the corner of Woodman and Victory Boulevard here while the Jeep was still moving. We saw her enter the facility there on the corner, the beer and wine shop there. She hung out inside of that facility for a few minutes and then decided to make her way southbound here on Woodman, and we saw her make entrance into this construction facility here. Right at that entrance point, LAPD was alerted by us. We saw her walking quickly with authority southbound on Woodman. Well, now she's telling LAPD officers that she's unable to walk. So that's why they brought in a paramedic here, and they're going to treat her and make sure that she's okay, and they will wheel her out. All right, transitioning over now to weather. Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you guys are all having a great Wednesday. We're looking at a beautiful day across Southern California. Temperatures in the 70s at this hour. In fact, 78 in Corona without the line. That was the warmest temperature I could find in any coastal and valley spots. It's 77 in Riverside, 76 West Hill, 75 Northridge, and it is 74 degrees in Burbank, 73 Santa Monica, and downtown LA, DTLA as I call it, room temperature at 72. Yep, I counted down the numbers. Beautiful day, temperatures in the 70s, mix of sun and high clouds, still some offshore winds, no wind advisories in effect, but the winds will ramp up, those offshore winds, a little bit more tomorrow. I'll detail that when I'm back with a 7-day forecast, and also a cool down that's on the way for the weekend. And we'll likely show you as paramedics wheel that female robbery suspect out of this construction site here in the Van Nuys area. Bob Marlowe, back to you. You know, it worked out really good. I mean, it's rare that. And the timing of her coming out. I mean, that was. You kidding me? And right away I knew that was her because I remember seeing. You know, I had good eyes on her. I know. Yeah, and if she would have went the other, I mean, again, it was a timing. I mean, if we would have been just 30 seconds later, we wouldn't have gotten her. I don't think anybody got all that chain of events. There's no way, right? But I thought, yeah, that's what I mean. I thought that the 5 left, right? Yeah. Yeah. And Zeus, if you weren't flying, no way, right? Vince? Totally. She'll be coming out shortly. All right, here she comes, guys. No, she had a shirt. I think she didn't have that on. Now she's acting like she's barely, look. Yeah, she does. That's what I saw too. If you are still watching on Facebook, again, this is the female robbery suspect that we saw bail out of the Jeep that was being pursued by the LAPD. And we saw her actually running down the street, trying to evade police. And now she needed paramedic treatment by the Los Angeles Fire Department because she was complaining that her injuries were so significant that she was unable to walk. So she's now being treated by the Los Angeles Fire Department, will be taken to a nearby hospital. But an LAPD unit will follow her and make sure that they stand by as she's treated. And once she's well enough, she will be booked by the Los Angeles Police Department for all the infractions involved. Reporting live, I'm Rick Dicker. Thanks for following us on Facebook. Fox 11 Los Angeles, we always have you covered, whether you're living in Reseda or Rehoboth Beach. Yes, you can watch us here and all the excitement from up here in Skyfox online. We appreciate your support. If you haven't liked our page, like it. And you can follow me as well. I'm a certified broadcast meteorologist. I do the breaking news, traffic, and a little weather as well. From my corner office up here at 1,000 feet, as I like to call it. Follow me at Rick Dicker Weather. Rick Dicker Weather. Have a great day, everyone. Code 4, as I say on these situations, all clear. Both suspects in custody. Yeah, I really want to try to. Skybox News Desk. Sky Fox to Newsbase. Okay, the female suspects have been loaded in the RA. Are we clear to still try to grab Pasadena? She's been loaded. We got the load. We got everything. Okay. Rose Bowl.